a suggestion from the Labour Party that maybe if they won the general election, that EU nationals who have called this country their home should be allowed to vote in general elections, and also extend it to 16 and 17-year-olds who at the moment can't vote in general elections. Give them the opportunity to have a say on the future of the country. We're looking at this with a particular sort of local reference as well, where voter turnout is really poor. I mean, it's not great anywhere. It's better in general elections than local elections, but particularly in Finland, there was one ward where just 1 in 5 people who could vote did actually vote in the local elections. So would this be a good idea to have more people in the area given the opportunity to have their say? Well, let's have a chat this morning with Lara Parisotto, who is co-director of Migrant Democracy Project, also a former Cambridge graduate as well. Lara, very good morning to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
Well, a pleasure. I appreciate your time. I'm just going to bring in Eva Woods as well, who's Peterborough's youth MP, to join in the conversation. Eva, good morning to you too.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Lara, if I can turn to you first of all on this, because this has caught a lot of attention, the suggestion that people from other countries who call this place their home could have a say on the future of the country. Your thoughts on that, and from the Migrant Democracy Project perspective?
Definitely. Well, we're very excited that there's this possibility now of us having the extension of the right to vote. I know papers have been saying that there's this focus on EU citizens, but officially the Labour National Policy Forum papers and even Member of Parliament Jonathan Reynolds yesterday were on the news, and there's nothing tangible about EU only. So we're definitely excited about the extension of the vote that could go even further to migrants with that settled status from EU and non-EU backgrounds as well. It's something that we believe is so necessary. And many of those don't even have the right to vote in local elections. So many are completely disenfranchised, and having those really tangible effects on not being able to have a say on the services that affect them day-to-day lives.
Oh, okay. So this is the papers, this is the media sort of focusing on EU when it's actually all foreign nationals, to try and make it a bit of a Brexit debate. Is that what you're suspicious of, potentially?
That is what I am suspicious about, and that's what, of course, we're trying to get more clarity from the party. But in terms of official documents that are out there, there is nothing that focuses on EU only. Of course, we do want that extension of the vote to EU citizens, but we also want to bring others with us. We don't believe that a specific migrant group should be singled out as more deserving of a democratic say. All of those who are here, who are making their homes, are contributing. They should definitely have a say.
We spoke to people in Wisbech, and one comment, which there'll be many listeners who agree, I'm sure, or will make the point. They said, "Well, look, if I'm British and I live abroad, if I'm an expat, well, I don't get to vote in that country's elections. So why should it work the other way round?"
Well, funny enough, there are actually some countries that have residence-based voting rights, which is what our campaign is asking for. Instead of giving votes based on citizenship, we want it based on residence. And there are countries out there like Belgium, Iceland, New Zealand, across the world that have already implemented residence-based voting rights. So yes, some British nationals abroad will have the right to vote in other countries. Others in countries that don't yet have this residence-based voting rights model will not. But we definitely think that, and we already do work with organizations in EU countries that are fighting for the extension of the right to vote. So it is a campaign that is taking force nationally as well, locally here in the UK.
And what would you say, because we had quite a few people out in Wisbech, they said they're not from here, they shouldn't have a right to vote in this country. Why should they have a right to vote? How would you answer that opinion?
They should have the right to vote because this is their home. They have made the UK their home. Many of those who are on that path to indefinite leave to remain or settled status have been paying astronomical Home Office fees for their visa. And meanwhile, they've not had any say. Sometimes that route to settled status can take over a decade. And during that time, they're not having a say over the school that they send their kids to, over their parks that they spend the time in, and as well as transport and any other matter. For example, this weekend I was speaking to some Brazilian parents, and they were like, "Yeah, I send my kids to school. I've never been able to have a say." And they're here with family. They're married. They don't have any plans to go back to their home countries. And I think often we also hear why don't they just apply for British citizenship? If it was that easy, we wouldn't be campaigning for the extension of the right to vote. Some nationals from certain countries don't even have the right to apply for dual citizenship, because if they did, they could lose their original one. So it's not as simple as just getting citizenship. So it's got to be, we really do believe that those who are here, who may never have a say otherwise, need to have been given this extension of the right to vote.
Laura Parisotto, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.